Hi everyone, I'm Brandon and welcome back to News4Teens. My grandparents recently got the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, and it got me wondering, when will kids and teens like me get the vaccine? Today's video will be related to COVID-19 vaccines. I'll talk about two different characteristics of a vaccine, that is, how it could decrease the severity of the disease and whether it prevents transmission of the disease. I'll also provide an update on where the vaccines are at in terms of being approved for kids and teens. You may have heard that after you are vaccinated, you might still need to wear a mask. Why is this? How does the vaccine affect the person that takes the vaccine as well as those around the vaccinated person? If my grandma gets vaccinated, can I give her a hug? There are two characteristics of a vaccine that we can look at: whether a vaccine prevents or reduces symptoms of the disease, and whether it prevents transmission of the disease. It's not one or the other. Many vaccines can do both. This idea is really well explained by this chart in The Economist. The original graphic was drawn and shared by Natalie Dean, a biostatistician at the University of Florida. This first chart shows that a vaccine that reduces the severity of a disease will reduce the number of deaths and also the people with severe and moderate symptoms. It could accomplish this by increasing the proportion of people that are asymptomatic or have mild symptoms without necessarily reducing the number of people that actually catch the disease. The overall population that gets the disease essentially stays the same, but the overall severity of the disease drops. A vaccine with this feature will save lives and reduce hospitalizations, but does not necessarily help contain the spread of the disease. That's because people that are asymptomatic or have moderate symptoms could still infect others. Now let's look at the second chart showing a vaccine's impact on transmissibility. A vaccine that reduces the transmission of the disease will reduce the overall number of infections. The relative percentage of severe, moderate, and asymptomatic infections may stay the same, but the total number of cases drops because some portion of vaccinated people are no longer able to infect others. As I mentioned before, a vaccine can reduce both severity and transmissibility of the disease. For the COVID-19 vaccine specifically, we have evidence that they reduce the severity of disease, as well as make the virus less transmissible, which would reduce the number of people getting disease altogether. But right now, we aren't quite sure by how much each vaccine reduces transmissibility. Because we don't yet know each vaccine's transmissibility characteristics, it's possible that someone who is vaccinated could have a mild or asymptomatic case and then transmit SARS-CoV-2 to someone who has not been vaccinated. That's why the CDC has recommended those that have been vaccinated to continue to social distance and wear masks around those that have not been vaccinated. The good news is that we should know about transmissibility, at least for some of the vaccines, very soon. Now that many people are getting vaccinated, scientists have more data to help determine how vaccines are impacting transmissibility. Now on to the second part of my video. What's the deal with vaccines for kids and teens in the US? The Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine was authorized for 16 and 17-year-olds in December. They started enrolling 12 to 15-year-olds back in October to test their vaccine, and their vaccine trial is fully enrolled right now. Moderna started enrolling 12 to 17-year-olds in December, a few weeks before the vaccine was authorized for 18 and over. Both trials hope to have around 3,000 volunteers and have results this spring. Both companies predict that their vaccines could be authorized for use in kids 12 and older before the start of the next school year. Because of their head start, Pfizer could be approved in the US for kids 12 and older by the start of summer. But what about kids younger than 12? Both Pfizer and Moderna will begin studying their vaccines in children under 12 only after results from the older age groups are available, which could be in the spring. One main issue with the younger age group is that the dosage of the vaccine for younger children will likely need to be adjusted downwards, and they don't know by how much yet. We don't expect a vaccine to be authorized for those under age 12 before the end of this year or early next year. If you're interested in more details about vaccine trials for teens and kids, I put some reference links in the video description below. Like many of you, I'll feel safer going out with friends, spending time with extended family, and hugging my grandparents after we all get vaccinated. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something new and are looking forward to my next video.